It's interesting because we're supposed to be very, very pipeline focused these days, right? Go back 10 years ago, we weren't talking about marketing and impacting pipeline. And so how are you helping like the quality of those conversations? That's really interesting because in a relationship based business, the conversations are like everything. The content that gets you there. And there was a 3-time B2B CMO. She was on and she said two things. She said, one, today's brand is tomorrow's demand. So we can't not build the brand. You mentioned it like, we're selling ourselves short, right? The other thing that she said was that it takes cycles away from the sales process because they aren't having to establish the brand, establish trust, establish their role as a consultant and advisor in the industry if we're helping to set that stage beforehand. And so when you were talking about that, I thought we don't look at branding necessarily that way. And we don't talk about it in a business sense, like all the way through, like in a sales led culture, which all of our companies are, we have to be, right? How we make shorter sales cycles and how we make more powerful conversations in the middle.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of toolkits that, marketers have at our disposals. We can help with the sales materials. We can help with crafting the message. We can listen to the customer. There's a lot of things that we can do, but maybe, it's kind of the classic misalignment issue between marketing and sales that doesn't necessarily happen and then translate into better discussions or better value.
So you just said something really important there. We can listen to the customer, right? So go to any of the top consulting firms in the world, the Deloitte's, the McKinsey's, Boston Consulting Groups, you name it. And they're going to tell you that the voice of the customer is the highest voice of authority in the business, which we all know, right? And every single one of us says in one way or not, we're customer focused, we're customer obsessed, but it's about actually executing on that. It's like having a voice of the customer program. So we truly are listening and then executing on it. And McKinsey said only 15% of companies actually do that. Only 15%.
I was just about to say that I don't think that's very common. We tend to because we work at our companies and we know our services. So we love to talk about them and how good we are. And then we kind of get lost in the sort of how great we are instead of listening to what the customer really needs. And, it's a hard thing to get right.